Hi, everybody. It's Ashley again of Day to Day Social Work. I am a private online tutor and I specialize in assisting people to pass the license exam in social work on the master's and bachelor's level. You can find me online at daytodaysocialwork.wix.com/my site. I offer tutoring, and then my website also has some tips to help you to study as well as some tips to help you learn your learning style. So I wanted to come and make a video this evening about how to manage school and work because someone requested that in the comments section this week. So it gave me an opportunity to come and talk to y'all about something a little bit different. So that's the golden question. How do you manage school and work? And just as a disclaimer, this is just my opinion. This is not anything that you have to stick to or anything like that. This is just my experience. And then, of course, as always, I welcome you all to converse in the comment section if you want to give each other tips and things like that related to this topic. So, I went to undergrad. I graduated from undergrad in 2009, and then I took 2 years off. I planned to take 1 year off, but then it ended up being two just because of life. But I went ahead and got back in and went to grad school in 2011. I was in a part-time program from 2011 until 2014 when I graduated. It was a 3-year program at the University of South Carolina in Columbia, South Carolina. So I worked full time and I went to school full time. Now, the thing that makes it different for me and for some other people who will listen to this is that I am single, no children. I was single and no children then, so it was a little different for me. I did have classmates who were married and had families or single with kids, and everybody has a different situation and a different dynamic. So your approach to managing school and work and your personal life will be different based on those factors. I started out in 2011. The first year of our program was online. So, you could watch from work or, from home after work, that kind of thing. Classes were in the evening, and you even had an option to go into the studio with the professor and sit in on class that way. So that was good for the first year, but the last 2 years we were in Saturday classes. And that second year we had Saturday classes. We had, I believe, that summer off. And then from that summer into the fall semester and the following year after that, it was all Saturday classes from 9 to 4. And it was crazy. Like, the time went by so fast because it was just a whirlwind of work, school, internship, and then life whenever you could squeeze life and being social in. So how I managed was, and again, I didn't have kids or a husband or anything like that to add to my load, but my job was very, very supportive, and they allowed me to, well, they kind of made me go to part-time status on my job, which I didn't want to do because part-time was like 30 hours a week, and I could add another 10 hours a week and become full-time, but I guess they just didn't want to pay me full-time, so they made me go part-time even though I still worked full-time hours. But anyway, so having a job that supports you, supports education and, professional development is great, but not everybody's job is not like that. So my job allowed me to go to my internship 2 days a week and come to work 3 days a week. And then I would be at my classes on Saturday. So the only day I had to myself was Sunday. So that was my schedule. And even though that sounds easy, it's really not, because I worked in the field, like with people, families that were in transitional housing. So although my work schedule was flexible, like I wouldn't have to go into work till 10 or 12 sometimes, but I would have to stay until 6 or 8 o'clock, and sometimes even later at night. And then I would have that morning to sleep and do homework and stuff like that. But it's still just a big whirlwind. So having a job that supports you is great if you have to work while you're in grad school. I knew some people who didn't have to work because they had a husband, or they took out loans and they just didn't work. But I needed to pay for my own education, and so of course everybody has to get loans, at least here in South Carolina, to pay for your education in grad school. I didn't want a whole lot of loans, so I got the exact amount that I needed for tuition, and then I paid for my own books out of my pocket, as well as my own housing out of my pocket, and just laptop supplies and all that stuff out of my own pocket. So, that's another thing. If you want to live off loans, I don't suggest doing that, but you know your own financial situation. So, some people do that. They live off loans so they don't have to work. But having a supportive your employer is great. If you don't have that, then it becomes scheduling, organizing, planning everything. So I would suggest that you get a planner and write everything down. Even still, I write everything down because I'm always working and doing tutoring, and I'm picking up another project for an organization that I support in my hometown, and this is going to be a huge project, so life is crazy. But write everything down, all of your appointments. If you have, to study, this whole thing could just go a number of different ways depending on your situation. So there is no one set way to manage it. It's just what works best for you. So let's say that you work in a 9 to 5 and then you go to evening classes. Okay, well, is there some time during the day on your lunch break or your 15-minute break or whatever your breaks are there any time frames in the day where you can do some research or type up a paper and eat at your desk at the same time? If you are off on the weekends, are you able to not go to the tailgating party or the football game? Are you able to have that kind of self-discipline where you are able to put your life on hold to complete school while you work and while you have a family? So it's really just about sacrifice. I think anybody could do it. I knew a lady in grad school. She was a non-traditional student. She had 3 children. They were teenagers, but still needed a lot of attention, and they needed transportation to get back and forth to their extracurricular activities and athletic events and things like that. And she was on the same schedule as me, but her job didn't allow her to go to part-time. So she had to work full-time. She had her kids. She had her internship. And some people even you have to get a certain number of hours in your internship. So some people even have to go into the summertime to complete their hours for their internship if they don't complete them throughout the semester. And then another thing that happened to me was I hated my internship. The first one that I had, and at my school they make you stay at your internship for the entire year for your first one and the entire year for your second one. But after the first semester of my first internship, I did not want to ever go back. I dreaded going. It was like walking on eggshells. They treated us like interns, like you would see on the movies, and I just did not like the environment. And so I was paying my tuition, and I felt like I had a right to leave there if I didn't want to be there. So I wrote an email to the field director, and I told her, would you like to be somewhere every day that you dread going? Like, how would you feel if you had to go somewhere 2 times a week and you dread being there? And I wrote this whole long thing and advocated for myself, and they allowed me to have a different internship for that second semester. So, I mean, all kinds of stuff pops up when you are in school. I mean, you have things that happen in your family that you don't plan for. You have deaths, you have people getting married, you have people having babies, people turning 30 or 40 or however old, and they want you to be at their events. So it's all about planning and putting everything on paper and figuring out what's important to you and prioritizing everything. And work is definitely a priority for a lot of people. But, if you don't ask, then you won't know. So you could go to your employer, let them know that you're getting your degree so that you can you can develop professionally, and then it's only going to help them when you become a master level social worker. and ask them, is there any way that they could let you tweak your schedule? I mean, you don't know if you don't ask. So if they say no, then that's fine, and you just stay there and continue to work, or you can decide to get a different job. So it's just a number of different ways to approach that whole situation on managing life, school, and work. So that's all I have to say about it, because I don't want to babble on. But please, anybody watching this, give your comment in the comment box, because I'm pretty sure that the person who asked for this video or for this information will read the comments in the comment section and would be glad to see what suggestions you have. So network with your colleagues in the comment section, and until next time, I will see you all later. Happy Valentine's Day and have a good night.